Tonight, the Nolan Wells investigation into the death of a shining star, Nolan Wells, has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. A Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo.
Two confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. The Triton, as you said, left around 4:30.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when?
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, "Hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady."
That from Secret Service Sam on TikTok. Okay. How is this helping the investigation? I'm trying to make sense of so many people online making comments. Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything, especially if the video is time stamped. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubay joining me. He is joining us out of LA, formerly in the public defender's office. They try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Tonight, a new witness breaks her silence. She says she saw Nolan Wells in a fight, hours before he vanished. This isn't rumor. This isn't speculation. This is a woman who says she watched it happen from a boat, close enough to hear him yelling. Here's what you're about to learn. First, exactly what she claims she saw, in her own words. Second, why that account may blow a hole in the official timeline everyone's been repeating. Stay with us, because both of those change how you see this case. She says it started over his phone. Somebody had it. He wanted it back. She says she heard him yelling for it, right there on the water. Then the argument moved to shore. She says it turned physical. A group of people, Nolan in the middle of it. She says a young woman was there too, telling everyone to stop. She didn't just post this online. She says she reached out directly to someone she claims was involved. She told him she had proof. She told him she was going to police. But here's what should stop you cold. If she's telling the truth, that means somebody on that island knows exactly what happened to Nolan Wells, and they never said a word. That's not a credibility question anymore. That's a cover-up question. If you want every update on this case the moment it breaks, hit subscribe right now, because what we found next changes the entire timeline. She says she has proof. Let's see what that proof actually shows. Evidence? Here's Promise 1, delivered. The witness says her husband filmed part of the argument. Video. On a boat. She says it doesn't show everything, but it shows enough. The group upset, Nolan at the center of it, tempers rising over what she calls the young lady. That's her claim. Not confirmed, not released, a claim. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators, she said, because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Now compare that to what's already out there. TMZ reported 2 separate witnesses placing Nolan alive, alone, sometime before 6 p.m. That's after the boys say they'd already left the island. Then there's Katie. Text messages, reviewed by multiple people close to this case, show the boys yelling for Nolan to get back on the boat. He never got on. He never came home. 3 accounts. 1 new witness. TMZ's sources. Katie's texts. They don't agree on the details. But every single one puts Nolan on that island, alone, after his friends were gone. That's the gap. That's the piece nobody can explain yet. If the boat left around 4:30, and Nolan was still alive after that, where did the next hour go? That's not a small gap. That's the whole case, sitting right there in the timeline. And if this new witness really has video with a timestamp on it, that gap closes. Fast. So why hasn't it surfaced? But evidence means nothing if the witness can't hold up under cross. Key question. Here's Promise 2. We're putting this witness on trial right now, the way a defense attorney would. Question 1. Why hasn't she gone to police? One veteran trial attorney didn't hold back. If she hasn't brought this forward to law enforcement, it means nothing to me, he said. Question 2. What was she drinking? 4th of July, Horn Island, everybody partying. Her ability to see, to remember, gets questioned the second she takes the stand. But here's the counter. Nearly everyone on that island had been drinking. Does that erase what she saw? Or does it just give a defense attorney something to work with? Now the forensics. This is where it gets uncomfortable. 5 things you need to know about the autopsy findings. No blunt force trauma found on Nolan's face. No lacerations on the back of his head. The red mark investigators noted sits underneath the skin, not an open wound. A forensics expert says that redness could come from blood pooling after death, not from a fight. A second, more detailed autopsy found nothing indicating he lost a physical altercation. If there is decomposition, which we believe there is, he didn't make note of anything indicative of blunt force trauma. The forensics expert explained. So here's where you land. A witness says she saw a fight. The body shows no clear signs of one. Both of those things can be true at the same time. Maybe the fight happened. Maybe it just didn't kill him. So what did? Do you believe a witness who says she saw everything but never called police? Tell us why, right now, in the comments. No signs of a beating. So investigators had to look elsewhere. Suspect truth. Here's the detail that should unsettle you. Marine Patrol records show investigators searched a boat called a tide craft. But multiple witnesses say the vessel used that day was a completely different boat. A tide line. 2 different boats. 2 different brands, according to one dive instructor who reviewed the case. If they search the wrong boat, any evidence on it means nothing. GPS data, phone records, all of it, pointing investigators in the wrong direction from day one. If a detail like that makes you question this entire investigation, subscribe now so you don't miss the next update the moment it drops. Now here's where it stands officially. The young men who were on those boats maintain they left before any of this happened. They gave statements. They handed over location data. They say the timeline clears them. Katie's messages back that up partly. She references the yelling. She never mentions witnessing a fight herself. Then the county's district attorney spoke, carefully, through a public statement. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells, she said. A grand jury, actively reviewing evidence, cause of death still not released, weeks after the autopsy was completed. If they really searched the wrong boat, what do you think they lost? Wrong boat, no cause of death, an active grand jury. Here's where it all stands tonight. Unresolved close. Here's what we know for certain. A witness says Nolan was in a fight before he disappeared. The autopsy shows no clear proof that fight killed him. A grand jury is reviewing everything right now, and no one outside that room knows which way it's leaning. Here's what we don't know. How Nolan got from Horn Island into the water. Whether that fight had anything to do with it at all. Whether the wrong boat search cost investigators evidence they can never get back. A family is still waiting, still without answers, still watching this play out online before it plays out in a courtroom. If you want to be the first to know the moment the grand jury makes a decision, hit subscribe and turn on notifications right now, because when this breaks, we'll have it before anyone else. What do you think really happened to Nolan Wells in that final hour? Drop your theory below. We read every one of them. This case isn't closed. Neither is our coverage. We'll be back the moment something new surfaces.